Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Boulevard. We got my boy Big Slinging T down here in the middle. We got the closer himself, Mr. Jose, down at the bottom, and we are here to break down week 2 for you all. And it was a great week 1, 5-1 on our best bets. I believe my boy Jose down there was 8-5, and he hit a lot of his bigger bets on the weekend. And then I was 17-7. But that's one thing you'll see from me is I play a lot of value. I play a lot of volume, and Jose plays his best bets. That's what you're gonna see. And my boy Big T, he's a feel better. He just goes with the flow. So, but yeah, it was a great week 1. We're here for week 2. How was it for you guys?
I'm glad to be here for week 2. Obviously, it was a long week last week and a long week for me this week. Excited to get this thing going. Um, what I will say is that although the games themselves were like had really good teams in it, like obviously like these high end matchups, the football itself definitely was very indicative of week 1, in the sense that it was kind of sloppy, kind of choppy. You didn't see too much. I don't want to say skill, but you just kind of figure that this a lot of teams are still working out the kinks, obviously. It's unfortunate because when these really good teams play each other, like Ohio State, Texas, and LSU, Clemson. I think if we watch this game maybe 5 weeks from now, 6 weeks from now, we would have seen a lot better game. Not complaining. I'm glad we watched them. I'm just saying though that yeah, you could definitely tell it was week 1. A lot of teams still working out the kinks and whatnot. But yeah, still a fantastic week 1 for us betting wise, and it was still a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's back. Yeah, I mean, it's week 1 football. Everybody's getting in the groove of it. So, I mean, it is what it is. But being able to watch the games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday, even though Monday's game was an ass whooping, was, yeah, I mean, we're back. Yeah, we're in it now. So,
Yeah,
all's good.
yeah. And we appreciate a lot of new subs, all the views on week 1. It means a lot to us. We're here to have fun with you guys. This is why we do it. And hopefully we can win y'all some money along the way. But we're gonna hop right into this. We're gonna,
Real quick, John.
yeah,
Real quick. I hate to take a victory lap, but I just have to put this out there because I'm wearing the hat. A lot of people were on Texas. A lot of podcasts were on Texas. We all sat here and said, take the Ohio State Buckeyes. What do we always say? No matter what, this team always comes through for you. I just had to put it out there. I'm so happy they won for us. Very,
yeah.
very excited, obviously. We went against the grain on that one, guys. A lot of Texas money came in.
Mm-hmm.
We said, stay strong on the Buckeyes. And once again, they delivered for us.
Yep. And if there's anyone out there that is new here and there's a game you want us to look over, throw it in the chat and we'll get to it as we go along through the night. But yeah, let's hop into week 1 really quick and recap here. One thing I was going to ask you guys is who is your winners and losers from week 1? I'll give you all a minute to think. I know some of them are kind of obvious, but I'll go ahead and do mine. My 4 winners from this week was obviously Ohio State. The defense, Matt Patricia and the defense played absolutely incredible. I mean, that's just going to keep boosting them. That team is unbelievable, and they're going to be right there at the end again. My second winner this week, regardless of the competition that they played, was Utah. Utah really impressed me. They could literally do anything they wanted on both sides of the ball, offensive and defensively. Devin Dempierre absolutely balled out, regardless of it being UCLA or not. This team is a legit threat. They could really be there in the end and give a run for some money there. Auburn. I think Auburn seems to maybe have something going on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. The hype was real, and they showed that against Baylor. They played a very good game on the road. I was very impressed with Auburn. And lastly, I got to give it to LSU. I've been on Clemson all year, but LSU really figured something out here on the defensive side of the ball. Another defensive showing team that's going to help the offense succeed and get Garrett Nussmeier on the field to distribute the ball. So yeah, I loved LSU as well. My losers, obviously, with no really. I know this is probably gonna be on everyone's list, but it's Alabama. They looked lost both sides of the ball. Kansas State. Possibly a very fraudulent team here. I think they'll beat Army this week. Army lost their starting quarterback, but yeah, Kansas State does not look like a Big 12 contender. Loser here is going to be Boise for me too. Losing to South Florida the way they did, that's really going to hurt them. They've got to win out at this point to even have a shot, in my opinion. And then Army kind of lost out on Army here. They lost their starting quarterback. I know they were kind of in that conversation to be up there with Navy in the G5 representative, but yeah, Army. I have Army as one of the losers this week. And then an honorable mention for me, and I have to just bring it up, is UCLA. You gave all this money out. You brought in Nico, and you looked fucking awful on both sides of the ball. Absolutely pathetic. I mean, this program is in some serious trouble. But yeah, that's who my winners and losers of this week. Whichever one of y'all want to go first, go for it.
I mean, John took pretty much all the losers and winners that I had, to be honest with you guys. Kansas State was the one that stuck out to me. That team is terrible. They should have lost that game. They're so lucky they won it to save their season and save their coach's job. We talked about this team coming to the season, how we weren't that high on them. Avery Johnson, although he looks okay, he looks good. Still, though, he's not the quarterback I think that's really going to lead this team to the next level. There's just something off with this team, guys. I can't, going forward, you cannot put money on this team until they show you something positive. But yeah, that was a big loser for me. And additionally, Deshaun Foster at UCLA. I mean, I've been saying for years now. I think last year too. I said this guy's in over his head at this job. He was not a popular hire. A lot of people want him gone. And if they wanted him gone before, they absolutely want him gone now. That was an atrocious showing, and it sucks even more because Tyler and I had UCLA 6.5. So to sit there and watch that team just get dismantled play by play was extremely rough. It was so bad that we went to sleep early that night. It was bad. It was really, really bad. So if you guys listened to me in the preseason and took Deshaun Foster, first head coach, fired at 25-1, look, this team plays UNLV their next game. They're not going to win that game, guys. UNLV will run the score up on these boys. I don't really see a win on UCLA's schedule that I can point at. I don't see a game on their schedule where I can point at and say, yes, they will for sure win that game. That's how bad they looked against Utah, man. They had no pass rush, no defense, no offense, no coaching. This team is in shambles. It does not look good for the Bruins going forward, guys. So I'm really, really looking to fade this squad. They may quit. They may be the first team on quit watch. Like, this team may just give up on the season soon.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Big T, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, the other one I want to throw in there is Virginia Tech. Their front seven on the defensive side of the ball played lights out. Absolutely played lights out, other than that first drive for South Carolina. And then they got the punt return for a touchdown, and then the big touchdown to Nick Harbor at the end of the game. But Kyron Jones is shit. Is shit.
If they had an actual quarterback, they might have been all right because their wide receivers made some crazy catches.
They did. I mean, they couldn't run the ball for shit. Kyron couldn't throw the ball for shit. Their defense did absolutely everything possible to keep them in that game, and their offense gave them absolutely no help whatsoever. I thought their front seven, especially their D-line for Virginia Tech, played great. I really did. I thought they played great. I thought the pass rush was great. I thought their run defense was great. Their linebackers were flying around to the ball, and I mean, they played really good. Other than the first drive, and then the one deep ball that kind of iced the game toward the end. Like, even like their secondary, I thought played pretty good. Yeah. Other than being able to tackle Norris because it didn't seem like anybody on the field could. But yeah. I don't know. I'm sick of Kyron already.
Yeah, and a couple more things to really throw out there real quick, and we'll hop into week 2 here. Is we weren't really sure what we were going to get from North Carolina there Monday night, and it was pretty bad. It was terrible. That was really, really, really bad on both sides of the ball.
I mean, Josh Hoover's one of our guys this season, guys. We talked about it in the preseason as well. He looked fantastic. This team's offense looked really, really good.
Spectacular. Yeah, he looked spectacular. So North Carolina, Notre Dame kind of. I don't really know what to think here. I thought that they would look a little better than they did. The offense kind of looked lost. Jeremiah Love struggled. CJ Carr didn't really distribute the ball that well, in my opinion. The defense just got tired. That's kind of what I saw in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Carr played okay, I guess. Like, given the circumstances, first game on the road against a top 10 team, like he could have played worse. I do like the fight this team had. This team never quits. We've talked about this for years, right? Marcus Freeman rallies the troops. These boys do not quit on their coach, and it could have been very easy to pack it up. Down, 10-14 in the fourth quarter, but they fought back, they tied it up, and they gave themselves a chance to win. So, overall, I wouldn't say I was unimpressed with Notre Dame. I was actually more impressed with Miami. I just thought Miami played like Carson Beck shut me up. And again, that's one thing if you listen to a good podcast, I'm not saying we're a good one, but if you listen to a good podcast, you'll know it because the hosts or the people leading the podcast are willing to admit when they're wrong. And I am willing to admit that I was wrong about Carson Beck, at least his first game of the season, because I thought there was no way he was going to pass all over these boys, but he did, or at least he made the necessary passes and distributions when needed. Tough game. I actually watched this game at Cosm here in LA, which is like the LA version of the Sphere. Really intense. But yeah, I was really, really impressed with the way Miami played, specifically Carson Beck. I thought he played a really good game. So
yeah, he looked fantastic. He looked healthy, and
he looked healthy.
shout out to the Miami crowd. They actually really showed up and showed out. It was very loud there. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that much. Shout out to that, and then lastly, but not least here, we can finally kind of dampen the Arch Manning hype. The kid needs some reps, man, and that's kind of what we were saying. Is we don't know if he can throw or not, and he couldn't throw. Couldn't throw,
guys. He could not throw. So
it's going to take time. It's going to take some building, but it's time to settle down the Arch hype a little bit. So, anything else y'all want to add real quick?
I mean, I don't know how to say this. Like, we say we're going to give Arch time, but this is his third year of college football, So, I'm not really sure how much more time we can afford to give him. We had said in the preseason as well that it was peculiar to us that if Arch is supposed to be this good, then why was Quinn Ewers the starter last year?
Yeah.
And in reality, the reason Quinn Ewers was the starter was because he was just better than Arch. And if that's the case, then Texas's national championship hopes, I'm not saying they're gone, but he needs to play significantly better. I mean, if you put a really good quarterback on this Texas team, let's say you put Lenore Sellers on Texas wins a national championship hands down. It's not even close. That's how good the rest of the roster is. You have to have a competent quarterback, though. And as of right now, Arch just hasn't shown it. Now, I'm not going to condemn the guy just yet. It was his first ever road start at the defending national champions, at Ohio State,
against an NFL defensive coordinator and an NFL defense, honestly.
So I'm not going to sit here and just bash on him and say that he's done, he's washed. I expected more. If you're the number one recruit in the country playing for Texas with your last name Manning, I'm sorry, I just expect more out of you, but I'm not ready to throw in the towel just yet. I think he still has a lot of potential. Some of the throws he made look good. He did make some throws that I thought to myself, damn, that was a nice throw. But it's got to be more often. It's got to be more consistent. But I'm not ready to throw the towel on him just yet. I'll give him some time.
He sat behind a 7th round pick for a reason. So, all right. Well, let's hop into week 2, fellas. We had a great week 1. Let's keep it going. We got 2 Friday night games here. Anything y'all want to say about these, or move on? I will say the Maryland quarterback looked incredible. He played lights out, by the way. So. It will be interesting to see how he does this week.
I'm interested to see how Louisville looks against James Madison. I mean, that's a pretty formidable opponent. They're no pushover. I will bet that game, but I just want to see how Louisville actually plays. That's a really good test for them at home. But no play for me on any of these games. I'm just looking to see how these teams actually go out there and compete.
Yeah, that James Madison line was at 14.5. So if you did get it at that number, then I feel like that'd be worth the bet.
Yeah, it's taking some money.
Yeah. Moving on down here, Virginia, NC State, San Jose State at Texas. A big one here. Iowa State. I know Tyler and I have been talking a little bit about this one. We kind of like Iowa here. Tyler, you want to kind of break this down? What are you thinking here on this Iowa State game?
I mean, a typical Iowa game is going to be a 3-point swing either way. I know Iowa kind of struggled last week, but Iowa State wasn't great either against Kansas State. Now, I know Kansas State's defense is pretty good and their offense is pretty shit. I'll say that against North Dakota last week, they seemed to have their way. But no, I like these games are always going to be close. This is a big game, 2 in-state rivals. And you remember last year Iowa State got the dub in Iowa. So, I mean, these 2 teams, they'll travel well. And the one thing that Iowa does well is they play defense well and they run the ball well. And that's 2 things that always travel. This line is at a flat 3 on Bet Online. So, I'll probably be bet.
Shop around.
Yeah, shop around and see if you can find a 3. I doubt you're going to find a 3.5, but if you can find a 3, I wouldn't be mad at the 3 for Iowa in this game. Look, I thought Iowa State's offense was okay. Rocco wasn't bad. He made some good throws here and there, but he was just kind of inconsistent. And the clock's going to run in this game because both teams, Iowa State ran the ball a lot. Iowa's going to run the ball a lot. And there's just not going to be very many chances to score in this game. So at the flat 3, I would take Iowa in this game.
Yeah. I lean Iowa as well here. I haven't made a play, but I think Tyler might talk me into it. We'll have to see. Jose, you got anything on this game?
It's really hard to take away from Iowa State's game because, we thought they looked pretty good against Kansas State, but then Kansas State goes out there and shits the bed against North Dakota. So it's really hard to draw conclusions just from that game in itself. It's a game that, Iowa State kind of, I'm not saying they struggled, but it was a competitive game. So it really comes down to what, how can you grasp this team? Now, what I will say is that, the quarterback for Iowa, Gronowski, I believe is you pronounce his name. I mean, he was very, very highly sought after as he transferred from the FCS to the FBS. He went to Iowa. A lot of Iowa fans, a lot of Iowa beat writers thought that this guy would not necessarily say the program, but he would, come in and improve the quarterback play, substantially. And to be honest with you guys, he really didn't. If you watch the first game Iowa played, he was missing a lot of throws, some lackluster footwork, not something you expect from a senior who's been around at the FCS level for as long as he has. So he didn't really instill too much confidence in me. Typically this is a rivalry, like you said, that Iowa dominates, right? Like Iowa State is the little brother in the state, and for good reason. Like Iowa wins this matchup a majority of the time. What I will say though is that under Matt Campbell, especially of recent years, and Rocco Beck, they have played better. Last year, if you guys don't remember, Iowa State won that game, went into I believe it's Iowa City, whatever city it is, and stole a game from Iowa in a game where Iowa was very much in control of. So it was a very impressive showing, from that perspective. But yeah, it's a really hard game to break down because you don't really know too much about these teams. There's a question mark at the quarterback spot for Iowa. And then again, how good is Iowa State? Now, typically in these scenarios, especially in a game like this, I would advise you to take the points with Iowa. But I'm actually leaning towards Iowa State in this game, guys, because I trust the quarterback play a little bit more. I think at this stage in their careers, especially coaching-wise, I think I would take Campbell over Ferentz, although I do respect Ferentz a lot. But I lean Iowa State here. If this dips below 3, gets like a 2.5 or a 2, you probably will see some money from me coming in on Iowa State. Again, I'm just trusting the better quarterback here, but I wouldn't play this game heavy at all. There's too many question marks. I really wanted to see more out of Gronowski week 1, and I just didn't. So maybe this is a game where he gets better. Obviously, it was his first game in the new system. Maybe it takes a little while. I'm sure it does. But at current number, I lean Iowa State, and if it gets to 2.5 or a 2, I probably will end up betting this game. So that's the way I see it right now, guys.
Yeah. So no official play from us here. We'll move on down here to Illinois at Duke. This is a big game. 3.5. You guys got anything on this game?
Absolute trap game. Like, this line is extremely fishy. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter already talking about this line, not like professionals, but just like your everyday run-of-the-mill bettors, saying, why is Illinois only a 3-point favorite at Duke? And a lot of people are putting their money where their mouth is, and they're betting Illinois. Look, this is a going against the grain type of game. I'm actually going to take Duke +3 in this game. I haven't bet it yet, but I will. Like this one just seems way too fishy for me not to get involved. Now, if you think about it, how is Illinois going to Illinois has one way of winning this game, in my opinion, and that's running the ball. Okay, because they're not going to pass on this Duke secondary. Duke's defense in general is really, really good, but their secondary, especially with Rivers at cornerback, is really good. And we talked about Illinois, how they don't have Pat Bryant no more. They don't have Zachariah Franklin anymore, and they could be hurting, right? Luke Altmaier, we're not his biggest fans. We think the receivers made him more than what he was. This is a situation where I think that Illinois' offense struggles. They can run the ball, and you can run the ball a little bit on Duke. They can, if they can get the ground game going and be consistent with that, then sure, I think they can cover this game. But I trust Manny Diaz more than I trust the Illinois offense at this point. He's shown me a lot throughout his year, throughout his career, really, as a defensive coordinator and a head coach, that he knows how to coach defense. I really, really like Duke in this spot. Duke played Elon last week. I'm not saying they disrespected Elon, but you could absolutely game plan for Illinois and kind of skip over the Elon playbook, Elon game plan, during the offseason. So I really think that Manny Diaz was kind of circling this game and overlooking the Elon game just due to a talent perspective, thinking they can get by, which they did. Illinois, they have to establish the run of this game because I really see them struggling passing the ball. This Duke secondary is legit. Defense is pretty good, and I trust Manny Diaz right now more than I ever have, really. He's done a phenomenal job at Duke so far. So give me Duke +3. This is an absolute trap line. I know we talked about trap lines last week, and for what it's worth, the trap lines didn't really come through for us. But this one, more than any of them last week, is screaming trap to me, screaming fishy. Give me Duke +3. Maybe they win. Maybe they lose like 20-19 or something stupid like that. But I really, really like the Blue Devils in this spot, guys. Our Blue Devils. This team always comes through for us, So I'll be happy to back this team one more time.
Yeah, I'm with Jose here. I lean Duke. I like Duke a lot for all the reasons he said. I think the defense will keep him in the game. Um, this will be a battle at home. Give me Duke. Give me the home team here, plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm all over Duke. I got it at +3. If it go or it's at +3 right now. If it goes up to 3.5, I'll definitely be taking it. But
Yeah.
yeah, either 3 or 3.5. Yeah, for all the same reasons. We was high on Duke last year. We're high on Duke this year. Look, they're a very good football team, and I think, as Jose said, their defense is going to be able to put Illinois in some tough spots. So um, I'll take the home team with the 3-point underdog.
Yeah, I agree here. Can Baylor bounce back against at SMU? At their SMU is -2.5. Did SMU even play last week? It was just their first game.
They sure did.
Yeah, they played. I'll say it was somebody terrible.
Yeah, I don't.
Texas A&M.
East Texas A&M. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Which I
I don't
believe
really.
used to be Texas A&M Corpus Christi, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, I like Baylor to bounce back here personally. I was kind of low on SMU at the beginning of the year, but I'll just have. This is not a bet for me. This is just a wait and see game. I thought Baylor played fine. I thought Sawyer Robertson looked good. They played really well against a very good Auburn team, and I think that they could win this game outright.
Hey, look, I agree with you. In fact, I don't really know why this line's 2.5. I think this game should be a pick.
Yeah.
I think Baylor is the much better team here. I think Sawyer Robertson played really good last week against Auburn. I thought Baylor's pass defense was okay. I mean, like Jackson Arnold ran all over him. That's all he really did. He didn't really throw the ball all that much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Dave Aranda, you did a great job last year. Okay, but you can't live off that for the rest of your career. You're a defensive guy. Go out there and make the adjustments, the necessary adjustments, because your roster is better than SMU's. I like SMU. I do. Okay, but you really have to force Kevin Jennings to throw the ball. Last time he threw the ball, what happened against Penn State? Had like 6 interceptions or whatever. It was terrible. Your pass defense is not that bad. Make him throw the ball, and you will be okay. But again, just from a power rating perspective and from a roster perspective, I don't really see what this line should be. I think this line opened at 4.5, and it got bet down immediately to 3, 2.5 ish. I think this line keeps coming down. I think I bet online it was at 2. It would not surprise me if this line goes off at a pick. I just think Baylor is the better team here, like regardless of what where they're playing at. I would have this line at a pick. It's one of those lines that it's not a fishing line to me. It's not. It doesn't scream fishiness because I understand why why they put this number out there, but it shouldn't be this number. This line should be either a pick, or maybe like Baylor +1, if anything. I just think Baylor's roster is better, and it sucks to say I want to trust Aranda. I trust Aranda in this spot because I still don't. But he's a defensive guy, and I think he can make the necessary adjustments during the week. I respect SMU. They have some really good players in that team. RJ Maryland's one of our guys. And I want to say he's not even a tight end anymore. I want to say they have him lined up as receiver. Like he's just a regular receiver now, which kind of sucks. He was probably better as a tight end. But I think if you make Kevin Jennings throw the ball, you guys should win here. I think you guys should come out, that should play into Baylor's hands if they can tighten up that defense a little bit. But the offense, I'm not worried about at all. I really think this offense should be fine. Yeah. Could be a shootout. I'm not sure. What's the over-under of this game, John? I don't know what the number is.
63.
Yeah, 63. That sounds about right. And I would actually go over on that, guys. This game probably will be a shootout. Yeah. But yeah, I'll take Baylor 2.5 here. I think this line should be closer to pick. To be honest with you.
Yeah. And I see my first official play of the week here. It's a little bit of a bigger spread, but it was the first bet I locked in. That's Pittsburgh -21.5 against Central Michigan. Central Michigan, they actually played really well last week against San Jose State. I watched a lot of that game. But Central Michigan's playing 3 quarterbacks. I've already said I hate 2. I hate 3 quarterbacks even more. That's just very you're very indecisive. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have a quarterback. One thing Central Michigan did really well though was they ran the ball really well. But they're not going to be able to rely on that in this game. Pittsburgh is very high octane offense. They move the ball quickly. They score a lot of points. And Central Michigan's going to have to abandon that run game if that happens, and I do expect it to happen. Offensive coordinator Cade Bell, they dropped 61 in their opener. They looked really good. They have a lot of returning players. They're not trying to build chemistry, this and that, whatever. I love Pitt here. And I believe Pitt, let's see here. Pitt is 5-2 against the spread, and its last 7 as home favorites of 20 or more points. Central Michigan is 1-4 against the spread in its last non-conference road games. Give me Pitt here. I think they roll. I think it's going to be an absolute blowout. They can't pass the ball, and running the ball is not going to keep them in this game. So I'm all over Pitt. This is the first bet I placed.
I believe you.
Let's go down through here. The next big one here is going to be Ole Miss, Kentucky. We can start there unless there's anything else y'all see that you would like to bet.
No, I'm going to talk about Ole Miss, Kentucky.
Yeah, I want to talk about Ole Miss, Kentucky because I watched Kentucky and Toledo game a lot too. I'm on Ole Miss here at -10.5. But I'll let you go first, Jose. You can tell me what you think, and then I'll say why I like Ole Miss.
Yeah, look, I like Ole Miss in this game too. And if there's ever a coach to trust with a double-digit spread, it's probably Lane Kiffin because he likes to run it up and he knows what the spread is. I think he's one of those few coaches who understands, how his alumni want to bet on his team and he wants to make them happy. No, yeah, Kentucky, again, they were projected to be one of the worst teams in the SEC this year. I think the Mark Stoops era might be coming to a close, guys. It wouldn't shock me at all if he walks away at the end of the season. They just decided to mutually part ways. Should have taken that A&M job, but I digress. Listen, yeah, Ole Miss looked pretty good, but Kentucky really did not impress me all that much against Toledo. Now, I really thought Toledo had a chance to win that game going into it. I'm not saying they played terrible. They covered the final. I think it was like +10 the final line, so they covered that number if you got that number. But I didn't walk away from that game thinking Kentucky looked amazing. I'm still not a big fan of Zach Calzada. I've seen him play in the SEC before with A&M, and he did not impress me all that much. There's a reason why he's bounced around. There's a reason why he's 25 still playing in college. He's just not that good. Ole Miss is a significant step up in talent, coaching, and just overall personnel compared to Toledo. I don't really care if this game's at Kentucky. Their home field advantage really isn't that significant to me. So, yeah, I'll lay it with Ole Miss here. I feel pretty comfortable with it. Probably won't bet this one because I hate laying double digits. But if you were to bet this game, I would not hate it, and I would recommend you taking Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm all over Ole Miss here. Calzada looked shaky. He only completed 43% of his passes. They didn't really have much, in my opinion. Ole Miss started shaky too, but then they really started firing. Austin Simmons, 300-some yards, 3 touchdowns. He looked absolutely effective. Ole Miss is 8-4 against the spread as road favorites in conference play. I love Ole Miss here. I think they're going to absolutely move the ball effectively, easily. And Kentucky don't have an offense. Their defense is okay, but they're not going to. Their defense is okay for like a Toledo, right? It's not going to be okay for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to run this up, in my opinion, and I love Ole Miss here.
Yeah, and if there's any game for Ole Miss to run up, it's going to be this one after Kentucky came to Ole Miss and beat them last year.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to go in there with the chip on their shoulder and try to beat the little dog shit out of them by like 40. So
yeah, I'm all over Ole Miss.
Yeah,
this is an official bet.
That's the game that probably knocked Ole Miss out of the CFP. Really, I mean, had they won
really
that game, they probably would have made the playoffs. So yeah, you're right, Tyler. This is definitely some bulletin board material stuff right here. Payback.
Yeah, between them and Florida with Ole Miss last year, that was like the 2 games that kind of knocked them out. More Kentucky than anything, because Ole Miss was getting a lot of hype at that point in time, and Kentucky came in their house and beat them. So yeah. I think Glenn will try to run the score up on that one.
Some technical difficulties, it looks like, by the way.
We are. Really sure. I think we lost John.
I think we lost John. Might have lost me as well. Not really sure if you guys can hear me. If anybody watching this should know, we had some pretty substantial difficulties trying to get this thing even going. So I feel like it was just on Guess not. T, you want to talk about another game, another big game, just to keep it going for now?
Yeah, I'll just keep on going down the list. Are you got one picked out?
I was gonna say OU Michigan until John came back. I don't really sure what else. I'm not really sure how much more you wanted to break down without him, or if that's the game you wanted to discuss without him. I see Kansas,
you can
Missouri.
Do it for a minute, and then we can. Yeah, John's gonna be all over Kansas in that one.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted him to discuss that one.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. Look, let's talk about Michigan. let's talk about Michigan OU real quick then. This line opened at, I want to say it was like 3.5, 2.5.
Yeah.
Looks like we got John back, at least somewhat, but we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Opened at 2.5. It got up to 7. I want to say it flipped
Hello?
at 7 for just a little bit, and now it's back down around 6-ish, 5.5-ish, somewhere in that range, depending where you look. I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised by this line. Surprised at the opening line, I guess. But John, not sure if you could hear us. John?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
good. So I'll just break this game down real quick on my own.
All right, bet. I'm back.
I cannot hear him. Can you hear him, Tyler?
Yeah, I got him.
Okay, I cannot hear him, so either I leave and come back, or I just keep going. You guys make the call.
Tell him to finish his breakdown and then leave and come back.
Yeah, go finish your breakdown on this and then leave and come back.
Okay. And again, guys, anybody listening to this right now, we ran into some pretty substantial problems before we started the stream, so bear with us. But yeah, so look, Michigan OU opened at 2.5, up to 7 for a little bit, back down to 6-ish, 5-ish, depending on where you look. Look, I gotta say, I'm surprised by this line, mainly because what I saw out of both these teams in week 1. Now, OU won 35-3 against Illinois State. You can't take too much away from that. I thought material looked pretty good. But overall, I didn't come away thinking to myself this team was amazing, or they didn't look as impressive as I thought they should have. They did not cover the spread either against Illinois State. The defense looked fantastic, looked every bit the part. We expect that out of OU with Venables. That's kind of what they dialed in on since he's been there. But the offense just didn't wow me. On the flip side, Michigan against Oklahoma. Michigan against, I believe it was New Mexico. Michigan's defense didn't necessarily wow me. I thought New Mexico put up a pretty good game plan and put up 17 points, which I was relatively impressed with. But what I was most impressed with was Bryce Underwood. Not sure if anybody's seen his highlights so far. I thought he looked fantastic. When you talk about a number 1 overall recruit in the country, a 5-star quarterback, that's what he should look like, guys. Like, he was big, he was strong, accurate, had the vision, the poise, and the presence in the pocket. Overall, just really, really impressive showing out of him. And that's what I'm talking about. When we talk about these 5-star quarterbacks like Bryce Underwood or DJ Lagway, even as freshmen, they just look different. They look like they look the part. In comparison to like Drew Aller or Cade Klubnik, who we always reference, these guys do not look the part. They don't play the part. So Bryce Underwood in that one game, now I'm not trying to jump up and say he's the next Cam Newton or whatever, but I am saying that he impressed me enough to make me realize or make me understand why these scouting services gave him a 5-star ranking. He looked phenomenal. And I think for me, the biggest question mark when it comes to freshman quarterbacks is how do they match up physically? Like, how do they look and compare to the rest of the, rest of the line or rest of the team? Because you want to get a quarterback in there and, build him up in the weight room for a few years. You want to make sure he's, has the stature correctly and all that stuff. And he stepped in and just looks the part, guys. He's really, really, really impressive. That being said, he was not the most impressive freshman quarterback this season. I can't even pronounce his name, but I know his initials, JKS at Cal. I don't know what his name is, but this guy was absolutely phenomenal against Oregon State. Yeah. He was dicing up that defense.
Dude.
There was a lot of late steam, a lot of late money coming in on Cal. And I even told Tyler, I don't know why, because they lost their whole team. Well, some Cal booster, some Cal scout, somebody saw this dude in practice and put their money, put money behind him because he looked amazing, dude. That is what a 5-star quarterback should look like also. I'm not sure how much longer it'll be at Cal because I don't think their checks are big enough to afford him. But while he's there, if you're a Cal fan, definitely enjoy it because he looked ridiculous. Anyways, back to this game. Yeah, I don't know why this line got to 7 because I still don't really trust Mateer's arm. And if you're going to run the ball, you don't want to run the ball against Michigan because they can stop the run. That's kind of their bread and butter. They're known for having a really good defensive line, really good linebacking corps. You want to attack them through the air, and I'm just not necessarily sure OU can do that. Now, I know it's at OU. I know it's a night game, but we saw this last year against Tennessee, I believe it was, when OU hosted Tennessee, and Tennessee went in there and beat them. So just because you're playing at OU early in the season doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like some ridiculous environment where you can't go in there and win. We saw it last year early in the season. Yeah, I like Michigan, guys. Getting 5.5, I think the defense is good enough to to contain Mateer, especially if they force him to throw the ball. He's got to make him believe him. And I've seen enough out of Underwood already to make me think this guy can go into this environment and play well. That's the only question mark I really have is that Underwood has to go on the road. But nonetheless, based on what he showed me, I really, really think that he has the potential and the skill set already to cover this 5.5 points. So give me Michigan, guys. Give me Michigan. And if you want to sprinkle someone in the money line, I really wouldn't hate it. But yeah, I think the Wolverines. And I'm gonna leave right now and come back. So just FYI.
Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone. Our streaming platform changed a lot of their stuff, so we're learning and getting used to it. But Tyler, you can't hear me, right?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool. I'm gonna lean off of what Jose said here, and I'm also gonna watch for him to come back real quick. Hey, can you hear me? I don't know if you. I don't think you can hear me still.
Can you hear us, Jose?
I can hear you, Tyler. I'm not sure if John is talking.
Yeah, he still can't hear you, John.
Oh, I don't know. It's working for. It's working for the chat, and it's working for you.
The emissary, Tyler.
Well, the show goes on. We don't have a whole lot more left here, so we'll finish it up. I agree with Jose here on Underwood. Underwood looked great. Michigan finally found him a quarterback. But however, I am on Oklahoma here. But I want to asterisk aside it because I got Oklahoma at -2.5. I took this line very early. At 2.5, it's definitely a play. At 5.5, I wouldn't suggest it. Anything above 4, I would probably lean Michigan. But again, I got this at 2.5. I'm on Oklahoma at 2.5. John Mateer looked great. He's jumped up in the Heisman rankings. And I've been a big believer in Oklahoma from day one. I think they have the defense to do it. I think they do have playmakers. The only weird thing for me here is Jaden Ott did not play that first game. He played like 1 or 2 snaps, and it was at the very end of the game. Don't know what's going on there, but they do have 2 serviceable backs right behind them. They are at home. They have a good defense. I do think Bryce will have a little trouble on the road here. I think Oklahoma is going to get up for this game at night. It's going to be popping. I like Oklahoma a lot here at 2.5. At 5.5, do not take this line. Wait, see if it comes down. It's been all over the place. If it gets to 4, I personally suggest Oklahoma -4. But again, I'm on the 2.5. I like Oklahoma at the 2.5.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. If you got to win the first drop to the 2.5, I think Oklahoma's the play. But and shop around too, because there may be different numbers out there. Because like on Bet Online right now, it's sitting at a flat 5. I wouldn't lay that with Oklahoma. With the way it's sitting right now, I would take Michigan because I think it's a field goal game either way. But I do worry about Bryce in this true rough start. Now I know he looked good at home. Last week in his first game, I understand it was his first game. I'm not taking anything away from him. But playing at home against New Mexico is going to be a lot different than going on the road to Norman. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, same as what Jose said, but it's going to be loud. It's going to be rocking. And I think this Oklahoma team in general is different than last year.
Yeah, I agree.
So if it depends on what number you got. If you got in at it early at 2.5, I'd be on Oklahoma all day. What it's sitting at right now is at 5. I'll be betting this game just because I feel like I have to, but I'm going to wait and see what the line does because it's moved a lot. So I'm going to wait to see if it comes back down some. If it does, I'll probably be on Oklahoma. If it stays the way it is, I'll probably just be on Michigan.
Yeah. And then I wanted to move over here to KU, Missouri. Another game I took early here, but it doesn't matter because I'm on KU money line. What can I say? I'm on Kansas money line, baby, and it's for good reason. Jalen Daniels looks the part. He looks healthy. He looks good. Kansas is moving the ball, but what is even more, what has really stood out to me here is the defense is playing lights out, regardless of who they played. The defense is top 20 in almost every single category: pass defense, run defense, total defense, elite third down defense, whatever it may be. Kansas has hit the mark, and that's with 2 games under their belt this year. Fresno State and Wagner. I'll over the 6.5, 7. I would play it down to 3 in my opinion, but I'm on the money line here. I have to. I mean, I like Kansas here. I'm pretty down on Missouri. I have been all year. Did they run the score up? Yeah, but I mean they didn't play nobody. This will be the first real test for them. Bo Prabula from Penn State's over there now. If Kansas can contain his dual threat ability, I think they're gonna win this game outright, and it's gonna put them on the map of saying, okay, Jalen looks good, the defense looks good, he's got some playmakers. The Alabama transfer, what is his name? Emmanuel Henderson Jr. He had 130 and 2 tutties last week. Daniel Heshaw, he's been running the ball real well. Yeah, so I'm all over KU here. Money line, spread, whatever you want to take. I would recommend you take the spread, but I'm on the money line at plus 200. I love it. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I don't get how Missouri is a touchdown favorite in any way, shape, or form. I would take Kansas plus 6.5 with Missouri's team last year. There ain't no way I'm gonna be touching Missouri with Kansas or with their team this year.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Pribula, throwing the ball. He can obviously run the ball, but I'm not a big enough fan of his to lay a touchdown against anybody, especially throwing the ball. So if they can contain him, like you said, then I think Kansas has every opportunity to win this game.
Yeah. I love KU here. I'm all over him for obvious reasons. I'm gonna ride him this year. That's my team. Rock chalk, baby. Jose, I don't know if you can hear me.
Jose, you got anything on the KU Missouri game? We're both on Kansas.
Kansas money line.
Can you hear me, Tyler?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. No, I'm on Missouri. Minus 6.5-ish.
No way.
Oh my God,
I'll lay it here. This is a significant. Look, Jalen Daniels has looked phenomenal these first couple weeks, right? The Jalen Daniels of old. But let's pump the brakes, guys. He really hasn't played anybody good yet. Like, this Missouri defense will be by far the best defense he's played this season. And it may be one of the best defenses he plays all season. It might be the best defense he plays all season. Like, they are really, really good on that side of the ball. Now, you talked about Bo Pribula. Yeah, I think that he has an avenue here to succeed against Kansas. I'm not sold on this Kansas defense just yet, guys. They got to show him a little bit more. They haven't played anybody. It's really hard to grasp this team, you know? And you're playing at Missouri, only 6 points. You have to lay here less than a touchdown. I don't have it at 6 points. I have it higher than that, guys. To be honest, I have it over 7 from a power rating perspective. And I just think the defense for Missouri will prove to be the difference here, guys. Yeah, I'm not really sure if you guys can even hear me right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tyler, can you hear me? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll lay with Missouri. I'll try to keep mine short and sweet because I'm not really sure even if my audio is going to come up on the podcast.
It is. Yes,
I'm going
you're
to lay
good.
the 6 points with Missouri here, guys, and I feel pretty confident about it. It's one of my favorite bets of the weekend, actually.
That's pretty wild. I was not expecting that. I don't know. I just can't get there with
It's
them.
one of my
Missouri played an
favorite bets
FCS
this week,
team.
guys. No, they did, but this defense is actually really good. Like, I believe in this defense. I believe in the defense, and I know, Kansas has looked phenomenal. And maybe I'm wrong here. I could be wrong. But they're playing at Columbia, and again, Kansas has got to show me. Like, there's too many question
tell
marks
them
that
I'm
haven't been
on
answered yet
Kansas
just by
money line.
2 weeks of play against inferior teams. Now, Missouri has to show me as well, but I just trust this defense more than anything on the field right now. So, give me Missouri.
Yeah, John wants you to know he's on Kansas money line. If you did know that.
I knew that before the season started.
I have an official play on Delaware plus 23.5. Colorado don't have a defense, and Delaware actually has a formidable offense, so they should cover that spread, in my opinion. We'll move through here really quick. There was another game I wanted to talk about, the South Florida game. First off, South Florida looked great offensively and especially on the defensive side of the ball. Florida looked incredible on the offense as well. I don't have a play on the spread here. I do have the over, but I got it at 52.5. It's now at 55.5. I wouldn't play it much higher than this, but I do like the over in that South Florida game. Tyler, you got anything on that? And then you can tell Jose to break it down.
I would lean Florida, and I'm not going to touch this game because I'm not going to lay the points with big spreads. But I mean, South Florida, they had a lot of breaks go their way. To be honest with you, they had they got some turnovers that you're not going to get every game. A fake punt for a touchdown, and to be honest with you, I just don't think Boise was that good either. Now the score was not as big of a blowout as what it showed to be, in my personal opinion. Me and Jose talked about that when we were watching the game, but definitely not enough for me to bet anything in this game. If I had to lean one way or the other, it'd be Florida. Playing them at home. If it was at South Florida, then maybe you could convince me. But with Florida getting them at home, I guess play the 17.5. But no bet for me. Jose, you got anything on that game?
look, Florida played probably the worst FCS team there is last week. Long Island. It's one of the worst teams. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
They are.
And for what it's worth, this Florida offensive line did not impress me, guys. If you guys look at the box score, Long Island had quite a few tackles for losses in this game. Now, final score is 55-0, so it's hard to find something troubling, you know, based off that score line. But that in itself is, to me, it does cause some trouble, cause for concern. You got to get better on the offensive line, guys. You got to get more consistent and overall just improve. So if you have any question marks whatsoever, then yeah, that's the question mark you want to look at with Florida. I'm a big Florida fan this year. I think this Florida team has a lot of talent, and they have potential to make the CFP if the cards fall in their favor. USF, for what it's worth, yeah, they blew out Boise State, but it was the most bullshit ass blowout I've ever seen in my life. Dude. Like, I'm talking like every turnover went South Florida's way. They converted like a 3rd and 20 because it was a BS like roughing the passer call. And they ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive later. It was not roughing the passer. It was BS. They had like a fake punt for a touchdown as well. Like, everything went right. And it makes me think that maybe they just used all of their magic. They pulled out all the stops in week 1 to beat Boise, which, you know, for their season, it's probably worth more to beat Boise because that, you know, I don't really think they're going to beat Florida anyways. So whatever. It just, the final score to me did not match up to what I actually saw on the field. Their defense looked good. I'll give their defense credit. Yeah. But overall, the points they put up did not really match the execution or didn't match the way they actually looked, you know, playing the game. So I'll lead Florida here as well, but I do have a lot of concerns on this defensive line. I'm talking on the offensive line for Florida. So if South Florida wants an avenue of success, I think it's attack or put pressure on this offensive line and make them make mistakes.
Yeah. And then lastly here, I know there was one more game I wanted to talk about, and it is Arizona State, Mississippi State. And then we'll finish off with UCLA, UNLV. Arizona State, Mississippi State, -6.5 here. I'm on Mississippi State. I had it at +7, though. It was even at +8 there for a little bit. Listen, Mississippi State looked a little shaky there in the beginning. But their defense actually played really well. Their front seven played really well, and Arizona State struggled without Cam Scatterbo back there. They were very more reliant on Sam Levitt to get things done. I think Mississippi State is going to stay in this game at home. I think a touchdown is going to be too much here. Mississippi State won't win this game, but I do think they keep it close. Maybe backdoor this at the +7. Tyler, you got anything?
No, Jose, you got anything for Arizona State, Mississippi State?
Not really, guys. I was looking at this game for a while, to be honest with you, earlier in the day, and I couldn't really find a play either way. I thought Arizona State looked pretty good. I thought Sam Levitt looked pretty good last week. A lot of money's coming in on Mississippi State, though, for what it's worth. This thing open at 10. It's down to 6.5, if I'm not mistaken. So there is some sharp money buying the Bulldogs and even, you know, putting it through some key numbers as well. So they're not holding back. I'm not really sure where this number closes at, but I'm not about to go against all this sharp money, to be honest with you guys. So no play for me. But if you want to be on the sharp side, it seems like it's Mississippi State. But at this point, there's just too much value gone in the number. You can't even get a touchdown at this point. So I would advise to stay away. Just kind of sit back and enjoy this one. If you really want to get involved, maybe money line for Mississippi State. But again, I recommend staying away. I'm just not sold on the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
You know, garnering that much love from the spread perspective, from the market perspective.
Last but not least, UCLA, UNLV. I have no play here. I don't want to touch the game, but I do think I don't know. I want nothing to do with this game, but I don't know why UCLA is favored.
I think just because UNLV can't throw the ball.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it, but it really doesn't make a shit. And I'm not comparing, you know, UNLV's run game to Utah's run game, but Utah didn't have to throw the ball either.
Yeah.
I mean, ran all over them. UCLA couldn't tackle worth shit. They just looked completely lost out there on the field. UCLA had like one or two, you know, good drives. But that's really about it, man. They really didn't do anything else. They couldn't tackle Dampier. They couldn't stop the run, and he was kind of throwing all over the yard on them. So you're not going to have to worry about UNLV throwing the yard all over them because they ain't got a quarterback to do so. But I do think they could have some success running the ball. I'm not going to touch this game, to be honest with you. This game kind of stinks.
Yeah.
But if I had to lean one way or the other, I guess you can convince me to take UNLV at home just because I don't like UCLA at all, but no play for me. Jose, you got anything on UNLV, UCLA?
I mean, I lean UNLV. I just can't back UCLA after that performance last week.
Yeah.
That was horrendous. As much as I kind of want to buy low on UCLA because I'm not a fan of this UNLV defense at all.
Yeah.
If Nico does not look good against this UNLV defense, he's cooked. Like, this team is cooked. They have to look good against this defense.
Yeah.
This is one of the easier defenses to play all season. So if it's that bad, trust me, Deshaun Foster, start packing your bags and counting your days because you're not going to last longer.
He's good.
But I can't get I can't get behind either team here. If I had to take something, it'd be UNLV. But again, I just have no confidence. And that's the thing with these early season games, guys, is that you're still trying to figure out some of these teams. We don't really know if UCLA is actually that bad. I know it's kind of our job to tell you if they are or they're not. My gut intuition is to tell me, they are that bad. But this is a pretty horrendous UNLV defense they're going against. So let's just kind of wait and see on this one. But if I had to make a play right now, UNLV 2.5 sounds about right. If it gets to 3, maybe I kind of have to take UNLV on principle because I just don't feel comfortable laying that many points with Nico on the road, especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, no play for me as of yet. Slightly in UNLV, but UCLA, man, all the pressure is on you. You have to put up points, against this UNLV defense.
Yeah. All right, we're going to close it out here. We're going to give our favorite bet of the week and our dog of the week. I'll start it out, Tyler, then you go, and you can cue Jose in. You can tell him who I took. I have a tie here between, and I know they're bigger spreads, but Pitt 21.5 and Ole Miss 10.5. These are my two favorite bets of the week. I love them both. I think they both are going to hit with ease. My dog of the week is no other than the Jayhawks. That will be my dog of the week at plus 200. Tyler, what's your favorite bet of the week? Who's going to be your dog of the week?
Right now, I'm going to go with Duke as my dog of the week against Illinois playing at home. Like we all said, we're high on Duke. And then my dog of the week is not a game we kind of talked about, but my dog of the week that kind of take a long shot team would be UConn against Syracuse. Syracuse looked like shit. And, this was a team we were high on last year, but their roster just got absolutely depleted. So I would take Connecticut as my dog of the week.
We cue Jose in.
Oh, yeah, Jose.
You can
dog of the week and dog of the week.
Bet of the week, it would be Missouri -6. Like it a lot, guys. I really, really like it. I'm sorry. I hate to go against you guys, but I just really, really like Missouri in the spot. Dog of the week, it's either going to be Michigan or Duke. But to add some extra juice, I'll take Michigan money line on the road at Oklahoma. But I'm telling you guys right now, Duke is live to win that game.
Yeah. I like Duke. All right, well, that is going to wrap it up for tonight. We're sorry for the technical difficulties. Our platform has changed their whole interface, but we will be good to go next week. I'm going to dial this thing in a little bit better and get it working right. But, yeah, we appreciate you guys. Go follow us on Action X. We posted on Reddit. 5-1 last week, and we're rolling, man. We are absolutely rolling. So, Tyler, you got anything you want to add to close it out?
Nah, man, I'm ready to go for this week. Gonna be all over Duke and a couple other bets. I'm gonna wait to see when it gets closer to time.
Yeah.
No, we're in it. Like Don said, go look at our action and Reddit. We've gained a lot of traction on there. So all the new followers that we've got, we appreciate y'all. Thanks for y'all for following along with us and we did pretty good on Reddit last year, and we're hot so far. So
and another thing too, we didn't talk about it tonight, but we'll have our NFL bets on there, guys. So so if you want some NFL picks, some college football picks, hop over there, man. We're posting them and we're hitting them right now. Hopefully it will stay that way. But we do appreciate you guys. I'm going to get off here and watch the end of this U.S. Open game. I've been betting a lot of tennis and having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, we love you guys. We appreciate it. And yeah, go follow our action. Go follow our Twitter to get our bets for this week. We appreciate it.